All right, we're live. Awesome. I'm just going to make a quick video for you guys because I got an email from a Facebook message from a friend. And this guy usually keeps himself under control, and he usually manages his temper well, and he can banter with good grace. But he had a friend say something to him, something personal, and he kind of exploded, overreacted to it, which he feels was wrong. He feels the behavioral reaction was out of proportion to what was said, perhaps. And he just doesn't like to be that guy who overreacts. And this is really common, so I just wanted to say a little bit about it. So I'm talking specifically about the perception that somebody has attacked your character. When somebody says something that insinuates or directly states that you are something that you don't see yourself as, and you feel aggrieved by that, and you have this instant, very angry, defensive reaction that usually gets away from you. It's very common, and basically all the great manipulators know if you want to get a big reaction about someone, just poke their character. Now, by character, what I'm really talking about is an identity, what you see yourself as. The easiest way to make someone take something personally is to deny their identity. Let's say you take a classic one. If you say somebody was a vegan, if you want to rile them up, you'd say you're not a true vegan, right? If somebody saw themselves as honest, you'd say, oh, you lied. If someone saw themselves as courageous, you'd say you're a pussy. When somebody has a certain character that they see themselves as and wish to be, the easiest way to rile them up is to say that that's not true. Now, the reason I believe that this gets such a big reaction and such a quick, forceful, angry, defensive, scared reaction is because when you attack someone's identity, you're attacking their entire reality. Because essentially, the label we give ourselves and the profile that we give ourselves, no matter how accurate it is, and it's usually at least somewhat inaccurate, that defines our whole world. Everything comes off that. That's the foundation for everything. I am this, which means everything else is that, and therefore that is how I make sense of the world. And so when you poke that, when you cause someone to doubt it, when you question it, it shakes the whole foundation of their world. And so one of the reasons that you'll take something personally and react really aggressively or defensively, even though nothing bad's happened to you, and on paper nobody's even said anything that nasty, is because your whole world's just been shaken up. You can see this in the current situation with the climate change debate. Look how nasty the climate change deniers, look how nasty they are in their arguments, how reactive and aggressive and defensive they are. Because the reality is that the world is going to be here forever and we're always going to be safe. And now we've got a lot of people saying, no, that's not true. We might actually be the last generation of humans. It's a very shocking thing to say. It shakes the whole reality. And so what you get is basically the worst possible reaction. You get them, I always say, if you want to see someone at their most real, shock them. You'll see who they really are. You'll see their deepest insecurities come to the surface. So what I'd say is, if, to the guy who sent this through and anybody else who takes something personally, there's certain things that feel like someone's poking through the armor and getting you in the sore spot. That sore spot is created by an attachment to an identity. If you find it really offensive that someone calls you a liar, then you've created this identity of being an honest person that you really want to believe in and you want other people to believe in. So a challenge to that you find very threatening. See, the reaction he described was a fight or flight reaction. It was a threatened response. It's the same response as if someone points a gun at you or somebody tries to steal your last hoard of food as a caveman. It's this rah response, like, don't, that's mine, don't take that. And we all do this. But if you're trying to understand why did I get so upset about what, just words? The person didn't even mean anything badly. They were just bantering, or maybe they were a bit sort of inappropriate or something, but why am I so upset by it? It's just noises coming out of someone's mouth. It starts with that attachment to identity. So if you want to become someone who's unreactive, you have to let go of being something that can react. You have to be okay with knowing who you are, but nobody else agreeing with you. And it's quite funny because often that very reaction proves to you that you aren't what you thought you were or wished you were. Somebody might think, I'm a very confident person. Somebody says, you know what, you could do with some more confidence. You're like, no, fuck you. And that reaction, no, fuck you, shows that you do lack confidence. So it even compounds it. You're like, oh my God, maybe it's true. And, this kind of reaction happens, this doubt of who you are. Well, there's a really easy, well, not easy, but there's a really straightforward way to get rid of self-doubt, and that is to not have a self to doubt in the first place. To not be attached to being one thing all the time. Maybe you were an honest guy yesterday. That doesn't mean you are one today. It's okay to let go of that. You can slip. And even if you are honest and they've misjudged you, they can just misjudge you. There's no actual threat to you here as long as you know the truth. The only time you're going to feel threatened is when some part deep down suspects or fears that they've seen the real truth, one that even maybe you're not aware of. So if you think, I am really a courageous person, somebody you admire, respect, like, says that you're a pussy, part of you is going to go, am I? And that's a really like, oh my God, am I wrong about everything? Because if you're wrong about your identity, then you're wrong about everything, right? Because your whole world's based off your identity. So if the core foundation's wrong, everything else comes into question. And that's what you're reacting to. You don't want to question everything. I get that quite often, like my particular one would say being a confident man. That would be the identity I get attached to. And so if, say, I'm talking to another coach, for example, and they're like, do you want me to help you with that? I'm like, I have this initial personal reaction like, I'm the confident guy. Why would I need help? Which, of course, disproves the self. Like, how can I be a confident guy if I'm negatively reactive to getting help? So in that little moment, I have this little crisis of character, like, oh my God, I'm not who I think I am, and other people can see it. But rather than taking that out on them, I can just take a breath and go, okay, they don't see that. Now, either they're wrong or we're both wrong. Either they see something that I'm not, they're misjudging me, or they're judging me accurately and I'm wrong. But there's no need for me to cling. I'm still alive. I'm still okay. I will survive them judging me this way. In terms of practical response, you need to train yourself in slowing down your reaction time when you feel anger and defensiveness. To realize they're very urgent feelings. They're like, react now, do something, fix this. Like you've seen a leak in the swimming pool and you've got to quickly patch it up or the whole thing will explode. You get this kind of like, quick, do something now, because the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. A knee-jerk reaction, and if you give in to that, about the only thing you're likely to do is make it worse. Whereas if you can just go, whoo, that got me, that stung for some reason, let me just take a second here to fucking process that. What just happened? I thought we were bantering and now I'm all upset. Now before I say anything, I need to just process this. And you can actually say this to people. You can say, whoa, that one got me right in the bullseye. Just give me a second here. I needed to think that one through because I was having fun until about 3 seconds ago. And you just kind of own your response. Because deep down you got to understand there's nothing to defend yourself against. You're not under attack. There's no enemy here. People could misjudge you your entire life. You'll be fine. Really. You are, in fact, misjudged your entire life. Nobody knows what it's like to be you. They only have their version of you. If you're sitting in a room with 1,000 people, there is 1,000 different yous in that room. So nobody's judging you accurately. So clinging on to the idea that people should perceive you the way you actually are is ridiculous because they never do. Even you don't perceive yourself accurately. There is ultimately no true you that can be verified. So all you're hearing when somebody insults or offends you is their view, which could be right, could be wrong, probably somewhere in the middle. And there's really nothing to defend yourself against. I'm going to post a video I did about why we react to people misunderstanding us, which I've talked about this before, so I'll post that in the comments below. But I just want to respond to my man with a video because I know this affects a lot of people, especially proud people, people who really cling to an identity, who want to be seen as something, want to believe that they are something. Any manipulative criminal will tell you they're the easiest people to wind up. So if you don't want to be that person, you have to let go of who you are. Let them get it wrong, you know. When somebody thinks I'm not confident, I guess that's one person doesn't think I'm confident. I guess that's their reality. In their world, I'm this whatever, fake, fraud, coward. And I don't need to change that guy in that because that's a Daniel in their world. He's not in my world. I don't need to do anything about that. They can just have him. That's their version of Daniel, their little pet that they can do whatever they want with. I'm not saying I don't always master my response here, but I've had a lot of training in it because I've been provoked a lot working with criminal offenders. They always tried to poke that sore spot. They were very good at it. You know, they knew that I wanted to be a good probation officer, for example, so they'd always question the quality of my work and do these little things. And then people these days, they'll question my honesty if they want to poke my buttons, or they'll question my confidence because they can see I'm attached to being that guy. And they know that's my sore spot. But because I know that, I know what my sore spots are, I'm prepared for it. When I feel my ego rise like a heat inside me and there's just urgent like call in my brain, attack, defend, I just stop and go, no, wait, now's not the time to act because I'm in like my worst possible state right now. I need to sort my shit out. Like, they've poked a button. They didn't mean to poke it even most of the time. It's not their fault I have this sensitivity. I need to go back and have a look at what I think I'm supposed to be and why I'm so attached to that. And just let them off the hook. Let them believe whatever the fuck they're going to believe. If they don't want to see me as something that they like, then they don't like me. There's 7 billion people in the world. I'll find the ones who can see me for what I am. But if everybody's telling me the same thing, if everybody, people I admire and respect, are all telling me something different to what I think I am, then maybe I'm not what I think I am. Maybe I'm lying to myself. Like how everyone used to, I'd tell everyone I'm a nice guy, and then I had some really confident people question me on that and say, really? Because that's not very nice, and that's manipulative, and that's needy, and so on. And I started to think like, am I a nice guy? Because maybe I'm fucking not, right? They're making good sense here. This is accurate feedback, critique. You know. Anyway, that's just my rambling rant on that. Hopefully that helps someone, and I'll post the video below. And I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.